John Russin here, and one of the most common things that I see with my athletes and my general fitness clients is tight hip flexors due to sitting too much in our sedentary population. So I want to go through a 3-phase sequence on how to alleviate tight hip flexors, get us into a better hip extended position. We're going to objectify this test before we get going. And what we're looking at hip extension is here. So Lindsay's going to come forward as much as she possibly can, and we're looking at this hip extension angle here. What we don't want is it coming from the lower back, so just make sure that we have a tight core and we have the glutes engaged on both sides when we test. First one that we're rolling into is we are going to get the foam roller with a neurological trigger point technique right over the front side of the thigh here. So you have a bunch of different quadriceps muscles there. We're going to be picking out 2 to 3 points, staying there for about 30 to 45 seconds per. We're going to have a good strong core position, and I only want a slight knee bend in order to just put a little bit more tautness through those muscles. Again, going hunting on the front side of the thigh there. Second one, we're going to get a little bit more active. We're going to come up into one of my favorite mobilizations, which is the hip flexor dynamic stretch. So this is going to be happening very, very similar to our testing position, but what I want to do is cue everything before we get going. So I want the glute to squeeze. I want the adductors on both sides to squeeze. I want the core to turn on. What happens from here is an oscillation forward happening at the hips as Lindsay is coming back and extending at this upper arm. So what this targets is these quadricep muscles, but also a deep iliopsoas group, which is the deep hip flexors that come right through the stomach right here. So this is a kill 2 birds with 1 stone type catch-all movement. From here, we're going to activate the back side of the body. So anytime that you mobilize the front side, we want to add active stability on the back side. So we're going through a banded glute bridge. So you can notice that Lindsay is using a circular band here. She's hooking it around her heels. And we're going to get down into a position to work from. Stabilizing the shoulders by driving the elbows down, having active hands, active core, and we're going to pre-tension the glutes as we come up and squeeze as hard as we possibly can at the top. So this banded position is really good for overloading the top hip extension moment, but also driving the knees out from each other and externally rotating the hips as well. So we're training this for the pump, so about 20 to 25 reps here to activate the back side of the body. From here, we want to retest. Looking at that right hip extension again. So Lindsay's going to get down to the half knee position, 90-90, hands on knee, and we're going to come forward as much as we possibly can. Make sure again that the motion is not coming from the lower back here, but it's actually coming from the hip itself. 20 to 30 degrees is what we're after.